Hi, it's Adam back from the Rubik's Cube, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my 3x3 hybrid methods. Alright, so I came up with a few ideas for some 3x3 hybrid methods, and I thought I'd just show them with you guys. It's by no means a speed solving method at all. Both of them are pretty inefficient. One of them, however, can be used in certain situations. However, that would only be in like very specific cases. So first, I'm going to show you the really inefficient one, the one I came up with first, and it's called Old Pockman Edges First. So it's a hybrid of beginners and Old Pockman. So the first step in Old Pockman Edges First would be to solve all the edges on the cube using beginner's method algorithms. And because it's intuitive, I can just go solve the cross intuitively, just like that. And then I can move on to the edges and not have to use an algorithm, because all I have to do is just match it with its opposite and insert it like that. So we don't have a lot of this method uses very few algorithms. In fact, it uses less algorithms than just plain beginner's method. So far we have two edge layers, I guess you can call them. They're not full layers, of course, because these corners are not solved. But here's where the first algorithm comes in, and it's in the beginner method, the FRU R prime U prime F prime. So to get the cross, so that's one algorithm. Then you need the RU R prime U R2U R prime in order to solve permutate these edges right here. So that's two. The next part is we solve all the corners on the cube using a blind solving method called Old Pockman. So basically in Old Pockman, it's pretty complex for a two-handed method, and it makes absolutely no sense. I just decided to try it out and see how I like it, and I don't really like it because it's super inefficient, like I said. But basically we have a buffer here. This sticker is a buffer, and this sticker down here is the target piece. So the buffer, using a algorithm, which is our third algorithm, there's only 3 algorithms in this method, it switches these two. So for example, if I wanted to switch this one with this one, I do its setup, do the algorithm, undo the setup. And that's the basis of it. So I'll show you one example, and then we'll move on. So here we have green, yellow, red. So green, yellow, red goes here. So we have the red sticker up, and the red sticker goes here. So I need to put this red sticker in the target position. So I'll do that by doing an F, and then, nope, an F2. Just do an F2. Then I would do my algorithm, and the algorithm is basically just a Y perm without the F and the F prime in the end. So if you know the Y perm, you're good. And then I undo the setup, which is an F2. And as you can see, this is now solved. These two switch as well, but because we solved all the edges in the beginning, you won't be able to come across a parity because that's not possible. But yeah, so you just go across, you go about switching those until this cube is solved. So I've done a few solves on using this method, and it takes about just over a minute. So pretty inefficient compared to CFOP, where I'm a sub 20 solver. When considering my PBs, at least, average around 24. So, yeah. So the next method is called Ortega 3x3, and this one is probably not as original as this other one. And the basis of Ortega 3x3 is that you solve the cross, but it doesn't have to be in a specific pattern, doesn't have to match up. So basically the cross doesn't need to be oriented. So Ortega is a 2x2 method. So let's see how we use it on 2x2 first, so we can understand how we'll use it and apply it to 3x3. So in 2x2, you solve the first layer in any way possible. So like that. I don't need to match anything up, because I would just solve the top. Then I can just flip the cube over and solve this side. And so that's what we're going to do on 3x3. So let's take a look here. Alright, so I can solve the cross in any way I want. So I can look around the cube, find a good cross that has only a few moves. So here's a good one. So I would do 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 moves. Probably with this method, the max number of cross moves you should have is around 4. So then I just go about solving the cube in my normal way. So my bottom color is orange. And now this last layer case is messed up because my bottom layer is in a sort of parity state. So as you can see here, once we solve everything, we just have a bunch of edges to flip. So I would do like this, and there we go. And so that's the basis of Ortega, and I believe that's not an original idea. I feel like it has to exist somewhere because it's a really basic idea. So if you've seen this before on a 3x3, then mention it to me. But similar to the Edges First Old Pachman, it's pretty inefficient, but it can be useful in certain cases. So let me show you when it can be useful. So in this cross example, we have an almost completely solved white cross. And here, it's just one move, right? But the problem is, this cross is going to take quite a few moves because these two are out of position. So this happens very rarely. This is when I was talking about in the beginning of the video, the one situation where this can really be useful. In our inspection, we can say, okay, well, this has to go down here. And then I recognize that this is solved, so at the end, I'll get a U-perm. So knowing that ahead of time, we can just solve this with one move. So solving the cross with one move can be very useful. You can look ahead to your F2L pairs. So I can say, okay, well, I have an F2L pair here, so I can immediately go, boom, F2L pair solved, and then like that, and then go into the rest of the solve. Let's see. This is slow, but you get the point. I get a jump start on my F2L. And then my PLL. And then when I'm solving my PLL, I already know that there's going to be a U-perm because I already determined that. So I can just go straight into a Y2 and a U-perm. And there we go. It's actually X2, not Y2. But yeah, so that's the basis, general idea of how Ortega 3x3 can be useful, but that's a very rare situation. So tell me down below if you've seen this method before, or this other one, this blind beginner's hybrid. Also tell me if you've made up any hybrid 3x3 methods, because I'm definitely interested in hearing about them. And yeah, so that's about it for this video, and thank you for watching.